Welcome to Monk Wisdom Tales. Today we journey to a quiet village to uncover the ancient secret of true self-control. In a quiet village surrounded by rice fields and old banyan trees, there lived a man named Hiroshi who felt restless. He was not poor, yet never felt rich. He was not sick, yet rarely felt at ease. His life looked ordinary. Inside him burned a restless fire. When people spoke too loudly, his chest tightened instantly, and his patience faded away quickly. When things went wrong, his thoughts raced uncontrollably. When others disagreed, his mind filled with sharp words he would later regret. He often told himself that he should control himself, but the more he tried to suppress it, the more he failed. Each night, Hiroshi lay awake replaying the day. Words he wished he had not said echoed loudly in his mind. Anger that rose before he could stop it, followed by shame that followed him like a shadow he could not escape. One afternoon, after a bitter argument, Hiroshi wandered beyond the village paths and found himself standing before an old monastery. Inside, the air felt strangely cool. An elderly monk sat beneath a tree, quietly pouring tea into a small clay cup. Hiroshi stood there for a long moment before speaking. He bowed awkwardly, desperate for an answer to his life's greatest struggle. He asked the master, "How do I control myself?" The monk did not answer immediately, but lifted the cup to pour. He poured more tea until it overflowed and spilled onto the ground. Hiroshi startled and shouted, "Master, the cup is full!" The monk smiled gently and said, "Yes, and so are you." Hiroshi frowned, confused, saying he did not understand the lesson. The monk gestured for him to sit. He asked Hiroshi where the anger begins when it rises inside his body. Hiroshi thought for a moment and said it starts in his chest. It feels hot and tight, ready to explode. The monk asked if others place anger into him when they insult him, or if the anger arises from within himself. The monk explained that a cup does not overflow because someone pours too much. It overflows because it is already full. Hiroshi felt something shift inside him. The monk poured fresh tea into 2 cups, this time stopping before the rim. He said most people think self-control means forcing the lid shut, but pressure always finds a crack to escape through. Hiroshi asked what he should do. The monk pointed to the cup and gave the first instruction. First, empty it. Hiroshi stayed at the monastery for several days. He helped sweep leaves, fetch water, and sit in silence beneath trees. At first, silence made him uncomfortable. His thoughts grew louder, memories surfaced, and old resentments replayed themselves in his mind. One evening, Hiroshi approached the monk and confessed that his mind was even noisier now than it was before arriving. The monk smiled and said that means he is finally listening. He explained most people live with constant internal noise. They live like a room with music always playing. They think the noise is peace because they have never known silence. The monk taught a simple practice. When anger arises, do not push it away or follow it. Simply sit and observe. Hiroshi tried. The next time irritation surfaced, he noticed his breath shorten, his shoulders tighten, and his jaw clench hard. Instead of reacting, he paused. He breathed in slowly and named the feeling silently, acknowledging that anger was present there. Something unexpected happened. The anger did not grow, nor did it disappear. It simply changed form, losing its sharp edge. Like a flame without fuel, it softened. The monk explained that you cannot command the mind, but you can train it. He said a wild horse does not respond to shouting, it responds to patience. You must tame your mind gently. One morning, a rude visitor arrived, dismissing the monks. Hiroshi felt irritation rise instantly and clenched his fists in anger. Later, he approached the monk, frustrated. He said he tried to be calm, but that man was absolutely unbearable. The monk asked, what he saw in him. Hiroshi answered quickly, listing arrogance and rudeness and anger as the man's traits. The monk nodded and asked what Hiroshi felt. Hiroshi admitted he felt the same arrogance, rudeness, and anger inside himself. The monk looked at him kindly and said, "Others are mirrors. They do not give us new emotions, they reveal old ones. When you are disturbed, do not ask why he is like this. Ask instead, what inside me is reacting right now?" That day, Hiroshi realized something painful but freeing. His anger did not belong to others. It belonged entirely to him. Before Hiroshi left, the monk gave one final teaching. He said, "Self-control is not restraint. It is clarity of mind." He taught the 3 pauses. First, pause the body, relax the shoulders and unclench the jaw to release physical tension. Second, pause the breath. Take 1 slow inhale and 1 slow exhale to ground yourself in the present moment. Third, pause the story. Do not add meaning too quickly. Between stimulus and response, there is a space for freedom. Hiroshi bowed deeply, grateful for the wisdom. He turned and began his journey back to the life he had left. Back in the village, life continued as before. There was noise, disagreements, delays, and mistakes happening all around him every day. But Hiroshi was different. When anger arose, he noticed it sooner. When words formed, he chose silence more often. When he failed, he forgave himself faster. He still felt emotions, but they no longer controlled him or his actions. One evening, a neighbor apologized for an old conflict. Hiroshi listened calmly, feeling no urge to defend himself or argue. For the first time, he understood. Self-control was not about becoming emotionless. It was about becoming free from reaction. He was free from reacting blindly, free from regret, free from the restless fire that once ruled his entire life. He remembered the monk's words clearly. As the master had said, when the cup is empty, nothing can make it overflow. By emptying his cup of expectations and ego, he found the capacity to hold the world without spilling a drop. Hiroshi became a pillar of calm in the village. His presence alone reminded others that peace is always a choice. The fire inside him had transformed. It was no longer a destructive blaze, but a warm light that guided others. So today, ask yourself, is your cup too full? Are you reacting to the mirror of others without looking inside? Remember the 3 pauses. Pause your body, pause your breath, pause your story. In that space, you will find freedom. Like Hiroshi, you can train the wild horse of your mind. It takes patience, but the reward is a life of peace. Let the old resentments fall away like dry leaves. Empty your cup so life can pour in something new and beautiful. May you find the strength to pause, the courage to look within, and the wisdom to keep your cup empty. Thank you for watching Monk Wisdom Tales. If this story helped you, please subscribe for more journeys into peace and clarity.